Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dakota's Political Circle, and I have some big news for you guys today. This is technically, I'm uploading 2 days in a row, but this is really cool. What happened? Um, so, if all of you know, basically Trump, because of Colombia not taking certain illegal, like actual illegal immigrants that were from their country, that were in the U.S., they decided not to. Colombia decided they didn't want them. They didn't want them back, and even though they were basically theirs. And it was really interesting because they turned away the plane that Trump specifically sent there that had the immigrants on, like the illegal immigrants on them that weren't the U.S.'s. That was Colombia's illegal immigrants. And basically, Colombia decided to turn it away. The president decided to turn it away, saying they don't want them. And let me show you exactly what happened. This is the sequence of events that unfolded completely. And what's really interesting about this is Trump did not back down a single time. And he did some crazy things just to show you exactly what happened completely. This is like the whole sequence of what happened. And basically, in the end, the Colombian president, bended the knee to Trump in a way. He bent the knee and, found out, effed around and found out. And let me show you exactly what Trump said first. So here's this. So he said, I was just informed that two repression flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by the Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized national security, public safety of the United States, so I have directed in my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. So this is major, by the way. This is something a president usually doesn't do. They usually talk about it first, but he's very strict about it, and I love that. But emergency, 25% tariff on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariff will be raised to 50%, which is major for something like a place like Colombia. And then a travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters. So that's very massive as well. And then the next thing, visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government. Enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. IEEPA, Treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligation with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. So basically, Trump obliterated Colombia in a way. Like he basically, without like military force, he basically told Colombia, if you want to act like that, if you want to lie and not take these illegal criminals that are specifically yours, then we will put massive economic sanctions, economic tariffs against you. And remember, Colombia is the top, one of the top. America is one of the top importers from Colombia, so this would massively hurt them. And let me show you exactly what the Colombian president said afterwards. So Colombia's president backs down, offers to send Trump a presidential plane to like the deportees from U.S. after Trump's sanctions threat. So he immediately backed down from everything. He immediately backed down and said, "You know what? I'm not going to deal with that. Let's just take them." And what's even funnier is he said, "Let me send my presidential plane to get them for you because of what happened before." So that's also crazy. Let me show you exactly what Trump said after this. And this is insane. This is insane. So right after this, Trump posted this on like Truth Social. And obviously, if you know FAFO, it's, I can't say the exact words, but it's F around and find out. And he literally trolled Petro, which is insane. It's just insane to see someone like a president just trolling another president of a country. Like, that's just crazy. And I know there was something that had backlash from it, because I'll show you exactly what happened. So after this was posted, the Colombian president posted this. It was another update. He said, the Colombian president announced a 50% tariff on American goods. He said Trump's economic and diplomatic blockade does not scare him. If you know anyone stubborn, that's me. I'll die for my principles. I resist you. And then Petro released a lengthy statement with an English translation showing Petro even bringing up the possibility Trump would enact a coup against him. So he got really, really upset about what Trump basically. I'm assuming that's what it was. Like, Trump posted that, and I'm assuming like he got very, very mad. But then basically, the Colombian president's like, oh, let's do a 50% tariff on American goods. You got to remember though, that's very bad for Colombia, because I mean, for the U.S., a tariff like that's not. I mean, it's not horrible, but. For Colombia, when we put a 50% tariff on them, that's horrible for them, because they are one of the biggest importers for like a big U.S. importer for their country. So more or less, it would very severely hurt them more than it would hurt us in any way. But let me show you what happened after this. So, okay, this is the first thing I'll talk about first. I'll show you exactly what happened after this. And it happened like 20 minutes ago, but that's basically what the Colombian president said after Trump, decided to post this, which is kind of funny. And then they announced that the Trump administration is developing an asylum agreement with El Salvador, which basically any illegal, migrants, like anyone that's illegal would go, like that gets blocked from asylum to the U.S. would be going to El Salvador to seek asylum. So basically, we're trying to come up with a deal that those people can just go to El Salvador. And the big thing about that is, you'd have less people trying to come in, and you'd also be able to push, the people that the governments don't want to El Salvador, so it doesn't hurt you in any way. And you can just put the sanctions on those countries. So that's a massive, massive agreement if it gets put in place. And then this right here, this is the big one. This is the big one right here. So after, hours of this post being a thing about the Colombian president announcing a tariff because he was really, really upset with Trump, and he was basically, his ego got blasted. That's the exact reason why he said this. And let me show you exactly what happened just 20 minutes ago. The government of Colombia has agreed to all of President Trump's terms. So, quite literally, even though the Colombian president said, he does not scare me, he doesn't scare me, well, you're agreeing to every single one of his terms, no matter what, which is completely hilarious, I'm not going to lie. And it says the government of Colombia has agreed to all of President Trump's terms, including the unrestricted acceptance of all illegal aliens from Colombia returned from the United States, including on U.S. military aircraft without limitation or delay. Based on this agreement, the fully drafted IEPA tariffs and sanctions will be held in reserve and not signed, unless Colombia fails to honor this agreement, which makes sense. The visa sanctions issued by the State Department and enhanced inspections from Customs and Border Patrol will remain in effect until the first plane load of Colombian deportees is successfully returned. Today's events make clear to the world that America is respected again. President Trump will continue to fiercely protect our nation's sovereignty, and he expects all other nations of the world to fully cooperate in accepting the deportation of their citizens illegally present in the United States. So Trump did a slam dunk when it came to this. I'm telling you, I don't even care if they threatened with 50% tariffs. Like, look at this. All of these things, like, Trump basically went all out against the Colombian government because they did not want to take the deportees. And he did massive things. Like, he didn't just say, like, a 50% tariff and that's it. Like, he did a travel ban, like, visa sanctions. This is, like, unhinged for a U.S. president, which is amazing. And then right after that, the Colombian president literally like crapped his pants and, literally said, okay, fine, I'll even get him for you. And then Trump's like, oh, let me just post this picture and just say, you effed around and you just found out. And then the Colombian president had to come out of nowhere and be like, I'm upset. Like, I'm just so upset right now. I'm being a crybaby. I don't want to be pushed around by President Trump. He doesn't scare me. And then right after that, hours later, oh, I'm agreeing to everything that Trump said, no matter what. You know why? Because the U.S. is one of the most powerful nations in the country, and so many countries always take advantage of us. But now, for once in like probably forever, the U.S. is finally not backing down against these countries. So. Countries like Colombia, you got a lot of countries that are down in the in South America. They could be in trouble right now, because if he's doing this to Colombia, he's going to do it to lots and lots of South American nations that have deportees that need to be taken to them. And look at El Salvador. El Salvador is like, you know what? I'm going to listen to the demands, because I'll take asylum seekers. At least I could help the United States maybe get a trade deal in there or something. Like, they're smart about it. Like, El Salvador is actually smart about this. Colombia, with their socialist dictator, quite literally is getting destroyed by Trump in every aspect. He tried his best to, stand up to the United States, but then he's like, well, if I do put this through, my country is going to be completely destroyed in years. So he just gave up. He gave up, which is exactly what you would expect. So hopefully Trump does this with many other nations. I'm hoping he also does this with Mexico. I know they said that his the order he's going to sign an order with Mexico and Canada about putting like tariffs on them on February. I think it's like February 1st or so. Like, he's going to sign. That's when he's going to sign it. And obviously, for those countries, it's a little bit different. I know Mexico is not a powerful country, but they're more powerful than Colombia. But I do think like a big tariff on Mexico really hurts them. So if they don't end up taking illegals, it's good to put that tariff on them and make them pay. But with all these other countries that all these illegal immigrants do come from, this is like a reminder right here that you cannot mess with the United States now, at least for the next 4 years. And I'm absolutely ecstatic that Trump did this. Like, he went above expectations. Like, he didn't just say, oh, let me just tariff them 25%, 15%. No, let's go all out. Let's just, completely obliterate them if they don't listen to our demands, which is exactly how the United States should be. And then also, this is the last thing I wanted to talk about besides that. So this happened during this whole exchange. So basically, Trump is actually sending Rubio to Panama this week. So this is really interesting, because how we want the Panama Canal and we want to take it back. And then when it comes to Greenland, we want that as well. I think with Panama, you can severely hurt them in many ways. And I think, honestly, with how we just handled Colombia, I think Panama is probably scared to death right now. So hopefully they listen to our demands, and we end up taking Panama for ourselves, because it's rightfully ours. I know Panama has said several times, oh, the United States doesn't own the Panama Canal. It's not theirs. It's never going to be theirs. Well, after what we just did to Colombia, I would say they are listening to a different tune right now. And Rubio is already heading to Panama this week, so I'm very, very interested to see how that goes. If Panama does end up coming to an agreement, that would be probably one of the best deals in a very long time, probably decades, to actually bring back the Panama Canal. And then when it comes to Greenland, we might actually make a deal with them. That'd be awesome. But I wanted to talk about that as well, because that was within this whole segment of how this all happened with Trump, just obliterating the Colombian president. And Colombia itself, but I also wanted to talk about this because this is also it correlates with it, because we could do the same thing we just did to Panama. I mean, the same thing we just did to Colombia to Panama. So you just never know. But I do think Colombia was more of a test subject, just to show all the other nations out there, if you don't listen to us, you will get exactly what's coming to you. And I did want to bring this up to you guys today, just because I thought it was just a big thing to talk about. because it's just something you just do not expect from U.S. presidents. And someone like President Trump doing that, it's just incredible. I love that. And honestly, in a way, I'm kind of glad he lost to Joe Biden, because his last administration would have never let this happen. His new administration is just so unhinged, and I absolutely love it. And it sucks we only can have this administration for 4 years, but hopefully J.D. Vance, if he does become president, just, goes with the flow of how Trump did as well. But you just never know. But anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. I thought it was really interesting to talk about because it's just so unexpected to see. It's just crazy, but I think it's awesome. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments how you feel about this. And not sure when my next video will be out, but I do know that RFK Jr.'s and Tulsi Gabbard's vote, I think, is on the 30th. I think it's on the 30th of this month. So when that comes, I will definitely be talking about it. I think they're getting voted in the same day. And if that's true, I'll definitely make a video on it. Absolutely, because those are two of one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest or possibly the biggest nominations out there, because they could be the closest out of all of them. But yeah, guys, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. And if you guys can see on the screen here, you'll see it in a couple seconds. That's what my last video was. It was about the nominations on Pete Hegseth and also Kristi Noem. I have a video on that. You'll see that on the screen in a second. And I hope you guys enjoyed that video as well, if you guys want to check that out. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments how you feel about Trump doing this. I think it's basically just showing that America's the man again and exactly what we need. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments, and I will, see you guys in the next video. All right, bye, guys.